How compound interest actually works with real UK numbers. If I told you that a 25-year-old putting away just £150 a month could retire with over £500,000 without ever increasing that amount, you'd probably think I was having you on. But that's not some fantasy number I've pulled out of thin air. That's compound interest. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how it works, with real UK numbers, real UK accounts, and none of the waffle. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand the single most powerful force in personal finance, and more importantly, you'll know how to actually use it. Right. So let's start with the basics, because I think compound interest is one of those things people nod along to without ever truly getting it. And I get it. When I first heard about it, I thought, yeah, interest on interest, sounds nice. But I didn't feel it. I didn't understand the sheer scale of what it can do over time. So here's the simplest way I can explain it. Imagine you put £1,000 into a savings account paying 5% interest. After year one, you've earned £50 in interest. Lovely. Now here's where it gets interesting. In year two, you don't just earn interest on your original £1,000. You earn interest on £1,050, because that £50 from last year is now part of your balance. So you earn £52.50. Then in year 3, you earn interest on £1,102.50. And on it goes. Now I know what you're thinking, £50 here, £2.50 there, who cares? And honestly, over 1, 2, even 5 years, the difference between simple interest and compound interest is not that exciting. But here's the thing. Compound interest is not a short game. It's a long game. And when you zoom out to 10, 20, 30 years, that's when it gets absolutely mental. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you invest £200 a month into a stocks and shares ISA. You start at age 25 and you don't stop until you're 60. That's 35 years. Now, the long-term average return of a global index fund, something like the FTSE All-World or a Vanguard Life Strategy Fund, is roughly 7 to 8% per year after fees, adjusted historically. Let's be conservative and say 7%. Over 35 years, you will have personally put in £84,000. That's your money. Your contributions. £200 a month, 12 months a year, 35 years. 84 grand. But the total value of your ISA? Over £400,000. I'll say that again. You put in £84,000. You end up with more than £400,000. The difference, that extra £316,000 and change, is compound interest doing its thing. You didn't work overtime for that money. You didn't get a lucky inheritance. Your money just sat there, growing on top of itself, year after year after year. And here's the part that really bakes people's noodles. More than half of that total growth happened in the last 10 years. So between year 25 and year 35, your pot basically doubles. That's the nature of compounding. It's slow, 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 and then suddenly it's like a snowball rolling downhill and you can't stop it. You wouldn't want to. Now let's talk about where you can actually get compound interest working for you in the UK, because not all accounts are created equal. First up, and this is the one I'd shout from the rooftops, the stocks and shares ISA. You can put up to £20,000 a year into an ISA, and every penny of growth is completely tax-free. No capital gains tax. No income tax on dividends. Nothing. HMRC doesn't get a look in. And if you're investing inside an ISA through a platform like Vanguard, Invest Engine, or Trading 212, you can buy low-cost index funds that give you broad market exposure for as little as 0.1 to 0.2% in fees. That matters, by the way. Fees compound too, but against you. We'll come back to that. Second option, the Lifetime ISA, or LISA. If you're between 18 and 39, you can put in up to £4,000 a year and the government tops it up by 25%. That's a free grand every year. Now, the catch is you can only use it for your first home or retirement after 60, but that 25% bonus on top of your contributions. That's compound interest with a turbo strapped to it. Third, workplace pensions. This is the one a lot of people overlook. If your employer matches your contributions, that's essentially free money going into a pot that compounds over decades. And with auto-enrollment, most of you watching this are already in one, you just might not be paying attention to it. Log in. Check what fund you're in. Check the fees. It matters more than you think. And fourth, for the cautious among you, there are cash ISAs and regular savings accounts. Now look, at the time of recording, some cash ISAs and fixed-rate bonds are paying 4 to 5%. That's decent. It's real money. But here's the honest truth, over the long term, cash savings rarely beat inflation by much. So your money grows, yes, but its purchasing power might not. For true long-term compounding, investing in the market has historically been the stronger play. I'm not saying cash is bad. Emergency funds? Absolutely keep those in cash. But for money you won't touch for 10 plus years? The stock market is where compound interest really shines. Right, now let me talk about the thing that quietly murders your compound growth. Fees. Let's say you've got two investors. Both put in £300 a month for 30 years. Both get 7% gross returns. But Investor A is paying 0.2% in fees, and Investor B is paying 1.5%, which is pretty common with some older pension funds and actively managed funds, by the way. After 30 years, Investor A has about £340,000. Investor B? Around £260,000. That's an £80,000 difference. 80 grand, gone, not because of bad investments, but because of fees quietly compounding against them. Every single year, that 1.3% difference is eating into the balance that future interest gets calculated on. It's compounding in reverse. So please, if you take one thing from this video, check your fees. On your pension. On your ISA. On everything. Now, the other thing that kills compound interest, and this one's psychological, is time. Or rather, the lack of it. Let me give you a tale of two mates. Let's call them Sarah and James. Sarah starts investing £200 a month at age 25. James waits until he's 35, just 10 years later, and then puts in the exact same £200 a month. Both invest until they are 60. Both get 7% annual returns. Sarah ends up with about £403,000. James ends up with about £190,000. Sarah has more than double James's pot, and the only difference is she started 10 years earlier. She put in an extra £24,000 of her own money over those 10 years, but she ended up with over £200,000 more. That's the cost of waiting. That's what 10 years of lost compounding looks like. And this is why I get genuinely frustrated when people say, "I'll start investing when I earn more," or "I'll sort my pension out next year." Every year you wait, you're not just losing that year's contributions. You're losing all the future growth that money would have generated. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. I know that sounds like a fridge magnet, but it's mathematically true. Let me give you one more number to really drive this home, because I think it's the most powerful one. If you put £100 a month into a stocks and shares ISA from age 20 to age 60, just £100 at 7% average returns, you'd end up with roughly £264,000. Your total contributions? £48,000. The rest, over £216,000, is pure compound growth. You contributed less than a fifth of the final amount. Compounding did the rest. And that £100 a month, that's a gym membership and a couple of takeaways. That's what we're talking about here. Not massive sacrifices. Not living on beans and toast. Just consistency, patience, and letting time do the heavy lifting. So let me wrap this up with what I actually want you to do after watching this. Number 1. Start. Even if it's £25 a month. Even if it feels pointless. It's not. Open a stocks and shares ISA if you don't have one. Vanguard, Invest Engine, whatever works for you. Pick a global index fund and set up a direct debit. Number 2. Check your workplace pension. Find out what you're invested in, what fees you're paying, and whether your employer will match higher contributions. If they will and you're not maxing that out, you are literally turning down free money. Number 3. Leave it alone. Compounding needs time. It needs you to not panic when markets dip. It needs you to not cash out because you fancy a holiday. Set it, forget it, and let the maths do what the maths does. And number 4, tell someone else. Seriously. If you've got kids, nieces, nephews, younger mates just starting their careers, share this with them. Because the single biggest advantage in compound interest isn't intelligence or income, it's age. The younger you start, the more time does for you. That's it. That's the cheat code. Compound interest isn't sexy. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Nobody's making TikToks about patiently waiting 30 years for their index fund to grow. But it is the most reliable, most proven, most accessible way for ordinary people in the UK to build real, life-changing wealth. And it's available to every single one of you watching this right now. If this video helped something click for you, smash that subscribe button. I put out new videos every week on how to make your money work harder in the UK. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you started investing yet? And if not, what's holding you back? I read every single comment and I'd genuinely love to know. And if you want to see exactly how I'd set up a stocks and shares ISA from scratch, step by step, watch this video right here. I'll walk you through the whole thing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.